All right, we are back at The Anxious Creative, and I'm so excited for this episode for you guys, and you are going to love it. And not just because you're going to hear my voice in your earpods or on YouTube or whatever you're listening in. If you didn't know, The Anxious Creative you can listen to on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and you can watch my podcast on YouTube. Maybe you're doing that already. Anyway, I just want to let you know that I have an amazing guest. And if you've been listening to the podcast for the last few episodes, you know that I've been bringing on really amazing hairstylists that are ordinary people like you and me doing extraordinary things in life and business. Their stories are so inspiring that I had to bring on another one. So today I've got Molly G. She's from Mississippi. She's got the best accent. There's something about the accent that I just love a Southern accent. But besides that, she is an amazing inspiration of how someone can flow through changes and get amazing results. She's someone, I don't want to give away her story, but she's someone who's invested in herself and her business over the years. She's joined mentorship programs. She's gone to events. She just recently this year joined my mastermind program and is with, a smaller group of like-minded individuals and stylists that are going to push each other forward. She invests in herself to get the return out of it and gets amazing results. And I just cannot wait for you to hear. But before we dive into today's episode, I want you to know that I want to help you. I want to help you get that business and that life and that bank account you've dreamed of. And so I'm hosting a free class on July 26th and 27th, because I know sometimes you got stuff going on. So July 26th and 27th, I have free classes you can sign up for. They're going live, so I can be there with you live answering your questions about life and business. And I want to make sure that you have clients in your chair that trust you, respect you, and pay you. So I'm going to be going over the 5 pillars of a successful hairstylist, how to double your work without doubling your stress. Because now more than ever, during this time in history, during our world right now, you don't need more stress. I know you can't book clients the way you used to. And I know that times you got to have to start being resourceful. Times are different. And I want to show you how you can create more revenue in your business with the new protocol, with having to have sanitization times, without being able to book yourself as much. So go join the class at dawnbradley.com/free class. We're going to have so much fun together. It's going to be a blast. And stick around and I'm going to answer your questions and help you and your business out. All right, so that's it for right now. Let's get into Molly G's episode because frig, this lady is amazing. I overthink, I overshare, and I overanalyze. So come explore with me as I chat about business, life, and relationships, all through the lens of an anxious creative. All right, you guys, I am here with Molly G from Mississippi, and I'm so excited to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think people are really going to love your story. So before we get right into where you're at right now, give everyone a little brief history on how long you've been in the industry, but not only that, what your life looked like before the industry, because you've kind of got a cool story with that.
Thank you. So my name's Molly G, and I'm from Mississippi, a little town just north of Jackson, our capital. And I went through cosmetology school at age 27. So leading up to that, I graduated high school, went to college for 4 years, moved to New York, lived there for 2 years, worked in the fashion industry in sales and production, got laid off because this was 2009. This was during such a hard economic year. No one needed assistance anymore. They had to just compile all the work themselves instead. So for 6 months after getting laid off, I had a business of bridal accessories. So I've always loved to sew and make things, and knew that it was going to take a lot to have a clothing line that was pattern makers, factories, all that. So what was something I could do that I could produce a lot of them, but also have character to each piece and some sentimental value to each. So money was going to run out super fast. Was going to spend all my money on rent. So my dad basically sat me down. He said, okay, look, I've always taught you how to save your money and use it wisely. Move back to Mississippi, your hometown, where you have your contacts, be the big fish in the little pond instead of this and see. So
Was
moved
that hard
home.
for you to move home?
Yeah, it was like this big ego boost. I was like, bye guys, I'm going to New York. See
Oh my
ya.
gosh,
And
I have the exact
coming
same
back,
story.
I'm like, hey guys, I'm moving a few streets away from where I grew up.
I did that with Australia. I was like, peace, see you in 4 years. And like 4.5 months later, I was like, hi, I'm back. Okay, so you went back.
I went back and but that was so wonderful because I was able to take more risk, was able
Mm.
to use I'd been taught I saved $1,000 every summer from the summer that I was like in 8th grade through the end of college. So I had accumulated about $10,000. So it was,
Nice.
how am I going to use this? And so I was able to, I would hop in my car, I would do festivals, I sold with stores at wholesale. I did custom work locally, but I hated working alone. And
Mm.
in my hometown, there's really not like a cool space of, you know, freelancers working together. It's just like either rent a space, be on your own. It just wasn't around there. Now there are more like that. But at the time, 10 years ago, there wasn't. And so I thought, you know, I really love doing the hair and makeup for the photo shoots, for the accessories that I do. I was like, I should go and style the hair on the wedding day. Like, I know how it needs to look. I would get these photos back and it'd be like, the veil's upside down. Like, why? And,
You're like, no, that's
um,
my work.
yeah. And so I'd sat my husband down. We'd only been married for 6 months. I was like, hey, I want to go back to school. And like we had no money, none.
Yeah.
And so, you know, took out a loan, went to school, spent that next year while I was in school. I gained a sales rep for my bridal accessory line. She was getting me into more stores. I went from 5 stores or so to 40 stores, all while
Wow.
doing the juggling school at the same time. And I remember thinking like, okay, here I am. Like, well, this is a really good, you know, they're going to pair well together. I'm going to run with this. And so it's kind
Yeah.
of how I've always done business, like jumping right in. And so right when I graduated, I started booth renting at a salon, and she had a little room in the back, like a little 10 by 12 space. And so, you know, feathers are like floating out of there into the salon, or like there's like little, you know, rhinestones everywhere. But it helped because I was already that girl that makes the hair things,
Mm-hmm.
because no one knows what to call them. And, you know, hair things.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, she does hair too. Like she can style your hair. And I think when you're a booth renter and it's really hard to just sit there waiting for people to come in, um,
Mm-hmm.
I was there and I had something to occupy my time that was making me money. And it was, you know, it was helping generate customers in other ways as well. So
Mm-hmm.
the brides that I work with, well, they then need their hair done, you
Yeah.
know, on a, you know, rotation. Um, so that was really great. Just being there, I was like the person that was like answering the phone. Oh, you need your hair done? Yes, I'm available. So I built my clientele really quickly, and after the first year, I reduced my stores from 40 stores. I started backing down, selling to less stores. I was busier behind the chair. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still doing a couple of stores and a lot of my custom work. And after 2 years, almost exactly being behind the chair, I decided, you know what? I think if ownership is in my future, I really need to see how other salons work. Like I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
hop around, but I also need to see something outside of where I am now. And so I sat the salon owner down and I was very upfront with her. She was my mentor. She had taught me so much. And I was like, honestly, ownership is in my future. I don't know when, but it is. And she was like, you know, so wonderful about it. She said, you know, we're always going to be friends. We're always going to be contacts. Um, and so I went on to another salon. Well, I was only there for about 4 months because there was an opportunity. A salon owner in our area was opening a new salon about 40 miles down the road, closer to her hometown. And so when I saw her make the announcement, I thought, well, what is she doing with her current salon? So I reached out to her and she said, well, I am selling it. I just want to be really careful about who I sell it to. This was my baby. So we sat down, we ran over the numbers. My husband and I talked about it. And um, here's where, I was kind of ignorant. I was like, I've done business. Like, I got this. I know how to do this. Okay.
Ain't no thing. Yeah.
I'm a numbers person. I can do this. And I'd always, like I said, I'd always just jumped right in and I'll figure it out on the way. Well,
and quick question, because you said that she moved 40 miles away. Like, how small is your small town?
It's not, I don't even know numbers. It's a very large town. But it's far enough that if Jackson's in the middle and I'm north of Jackson, she was very far south of Jackson. So there's just a lot in between us. So,
okay. So like 20,000 people? Or you have no idea?
It's gonna be locally. It's gonna be like, she is so off.
What's your town called?
Madison, Mississippi.
Madison, Mississippi. Okay, let's look it up.
We're gonna look it up later.
Yeah, I'll look it up. You keep chatting.
And I hate that I don't know that.
That's okay.
And so anyway, we made the decision. This was probably around November. So I'm talking with banks all through the Christmas season, the holiday season, but in my mind, I was like, this is a good opportunity. We need to jump on it now. We need to get in there and start right now. And I didn't allow for time, and I didn't allow for much research. So hindsight's everything, right? And so not only did we buy the salon, but I had a vision of like renovating it. I wanted to have the look I want. So salon is up and running. Like, we're not going to shut it down. We're not going to close it.
Of course, yeah.
Literally, we're renovating during a snowstorm. Like, the far chances that Madison, Mississippi is going to have a snowstorm, and we have this huge ice storm. We basically renovated half the salon, and then our idea was we'll renovate this half, and then the following Saturday through Monday we'll renovate the second half. And so it's just pure chaos. We're like,
I can imagine.
There's a whole salon staff. So the salon, I think, it's a 10-station salon. There were 8 of us. Yeah. And there was a receptionist as well. So on top of that, like a whole other beast of, here I am coming in as the new salon owner. I don't know the staff very well, other than a few experiences. And I thought, they'll like me. It'll be fine. Like, I'll like them. We'll be a team. We'll be a family. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And anyone who's like a salon owner now is like probably listening to this going, where's this going?
Yeah.
And so learning through experiences means so much. It's going to make you stronger and bolder in your decisions. And like I said, I came in, I had a full clientele. I double booked a lot, just kind of shifted them over to the new schedule at the new salon, renovating the salon, getting to know my team.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, all questions are coming my way of, okay, well, you're double booking here, but you have someone that has a question, or you need to basically play customer service for a minute. And
yeah, you want it to be full-time hairstylist, full-time owner, and you can't.
All of a sudden I'm going, oh my goodness, what have I got myself into? 2 days into my week working at the salon, I find out I'm pregnant.
So I
started on a Tuesday. Wednesday morning, I was like, I guess I better take a pregnancy test. And first person I call is my husband. I'm like, are you sitting down? I'm pregnant. Second person I tell, I walk in the salon, and the previous salon owner actually worked with us for the first month or so, because her salon space wasn't open yet. I was like, this will be great. We'll have like a time where you and I can ask you questions along the way. Second person I talked to is her. I'm like, I just need you to know, if I have a weird look on my face at times, or I just run off to the bathroom, like, I'm still committed. I just found out I'm pregnant. I don't know if I'm going to be like sick to my stomach,
Yeah.
this is what's going on. 2 weeks into being salon owner, my mom passed away.
Oh.
She had been sick for a couple of years. It had been a lot. She had multiple systems atrophy, and we had, she'd been in hospice on and off. I had not even had a chance to tell my salon staff any kind of history about myself and my family. And I walk in one day and I say, I can't be here today. My mom passed away. And they're all looking at me like, what?
Yeah.
So all that to say, a lot happened in a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I'm
So I'm like
somebody that
blinking a lot because I'm like super teared up right now. I can't imagine.
it was a lot. It was a lot.
Mhm.
But we made it through all that. We had this baby to look forward to. I was so excited about being the salon owner, and even though things were really scary and hard, I knew it would be worth it.
Mhm.
And I basically said I would run the salon basically the same way it had always been run for about a year. And I tried to be very vocal about it. And so I did that. And almost 1 year to the week or so, I sat down the team. By then I had a mix of booth renters because it had always been a booth rent salon.
Mhm.
And I had some commission stylists because that's kind of where I was wanting to go with it. And I sat the booth runners down and I said, okay, I've done the math. I have a spreadsheet. I had gotten this spreadsheet from This Ugly Beauty Business. And I really love her blog too. The way her spreadsheet worked out, I was like, this is based on numbers. Like, this isn't me just like pulling numbers out of it or a number out of a hat. This is based on that.
Yeah.
And so I said, I need to raise the rent. Honestly needed to raise it by $50 a week, but I settled for like $25 extra because I remember one of them said, you want to be the highest booth rent salon in town? Are you sure you really want to do that? And
Those are fighting words.
fight word. And I'm going, I don't know, do I want to do, like I said, this first year of business ownership, I've never questioned myself more and been so, and
did you have any sort of community of other business owners or people going through similar time as you?
A little bit, I had the other salon owner and a couple of friends, but I don't know. This was kind of a special situation that, not special, but like no one I'd been around had been through it.
Right.
And so about 1 week later, they sat me down and they were like, we're leaving. We've opened a salon. It opens in 1 week. It was about an eighth of a mile down the road. And that was like a punch to the stomach. But all that to say, as bad as it felt in that moment, all the individuals that worked with me, I mean, they're great. And I still talk with some of them now. And it was their time to move on to something else, and it was like ripping off that Band-Aid. As hard as it was, I immediately, it took about 3 hours. And after like that 3 hours of talking through it with my husband and my parent or my dad and my sister, it was like, okay, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I have the opportunity now to really make decisions in business that I was so scared to make because of the opinions of other people and a team that really wasn't committed to my vision. And that was okay that they weren't committed to it, but I needed a team that felt confident in me and that I felt like they were sold on my vision. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's kind of similar with like anyone who's listening that's not a salon owner, but like has a clientele and they're like, I need to shift out of some of these clients just aren't my right clients anymore. And it's like some of these staff, they were on board with the vision of the previous owner, but now you're changing and it's okay to kind of like let go and like be free, the ones that don't align anymore. Yeah.
And so I'd already signed up for Hair Love Retreat, and this was it was going to be a month later. I think they left 1st of March, and this event was sometime in April. And I remember thinking like, I need to get my money back for this. Like, am I going to have any money,
Right. Yeah.
I think by then I had like 3 commission-based stylists in 1 booth renter. And these commission-based stylists they were building. So it wasn't turning a profit,
right.
The way secured income of a booth renter would be.
Yeah, totally.
But I remember somebody saying, just go. Like, you need to get away. You're going to have this revived sense of, like goals and a drive. So it was wonderful. I ended up
were you at the one last year, 2019?
I was at 2018.
I was at 2019.
Oh, okay. I was supposed to go. So I was supposed to go to 2019. So with all that too, I got pregnant again. So I have 2 children in 18-month span. And so the due date for my second child was the week of the event. So
right. Okay.
So I was supposed to go to this last one that got canceled or that got pushed back.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was when I signed up for Workshop in a Box, which was Elizabeth Faye's mentoring program. And that helps so much too. Like just having that community that you asked if I had, I then finally had it. And so I did that for about a year to a year and a half. And then I guess to back up to 1 year ago, back in June, this was when my child would have been 6 months old. All during the beginning of 2019, I was working on rebranding, and it's like I woke up in January of 2019. I was like, it's time to put your name on your salon.
Yeah.
I'd had Molly G Designs, the hair accessory company, Molly G Hair and Makeup, my booth rental, independent company. And then I had a salon name that just wasn't mine.
Right.
And, I needed to put my name on it to be mine, to officially fill it. So end of June 2019, we changed the name of our salon. And so that to me, it was like, this is officially mine now. And we sat down the salon team at the time and we were like, are you guys okay with us doing this? Like, we need feedback from y'all, because I try to always have us work as a team on everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, about time.
I love it.
It was great. And we had a party. It was so wonderful. But yeah, I guess then fast forward, I bought I found you, I can't even remember how, through Instagram, of course, but you were running a special for
Friday, wasn't it?
Friday.
Yeah. And so I don't know how, isn't that creepy that I remember that?
I did a call with you, and then you reached out and you're like, hey, I've got this mastermind group. And I kind of felt like I was at a point where I needed more of that, like, smaller scale group, one-on-one, really be able to have these Zoom meetings and talk through things. And that's how
Yeah. So you joined the mastermind. I love the progression of, like, you did your own thing. Like, do you still have the bridal accessories? Do you still make them?
When I purchased the business, the salon, I told all my stores I was finished. So I had one of my last shippings, like, in January, right when I was starting. I just
was that hard?
It was, but I think at the time I was so ready to put something down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew I could do multiple things at an average rate, or I could do one thing really, really well. And
Mhm.
that's kind of where I was in my life. And
I
then when
think
I
that
found out I was pregnant, I was like, definitely a good decision.
which if you guys aren't following Molly G on Instagram, her kids are the cutest kids ever. But yeah, like the natural progression of like kind of always being part of the beauty industry and the fashion industry, going out on your own, starting to like getting your own salon with staff, realizing, you're like, I should go to this retreat because just to have community, and then realizing like community is so much more important beyond like in-person community. I know we're all feeling that right now, especially this time in history where we can't connect in person the same way anymore. In-person community is so wonderful. But then being part of a program where you meet other people, and then you going from being in a program and doing that to like then going into a high-end mastermind. And then I know you're such a valuable asset inside that group, and I love the collaboration and the support that goes on. And then even this year you've kind of shifted into another, like you kind of are, would you say, mentoring other hairstylists as well as helping push the industry forward
Yes.
in your new
So,
venture?
yeah. So, um, I kind of knew in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, Molly G, obviously with your history, you're somebody that is always looking to the next thing. And, right when things are kind of like at a smooth sailing, it's like, I got to find something else to
Where's the
dive into.
chaos?
Where's the chaos? I got to have it. If it wasn't the pandemic alone, but I'd been, I'd heard about like a network marketing company for so long and been so against it in so many ways, without really having hardcore facts on why.
And
And
I think like just because as soon as people hear you say that, there's probably people that are gonna like peace out, right? Like that was used to be me because
yeah,
yeah, it's like network marketing, and then they're like ah. But I think it's unfortunate that there's a lot of people that have misrepresented a lot of
oh,
really good, wonderful products.
yes. And so around March, I start like softening up to the idea of the hair care company Monate, and
Mm-hmm.
they're a hair care and skincare company based in the United States. They're very strict on what goes into their ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are they paraben free, which is a big deal right now, more and more people are trying to be conscious of what's in their ingredients, but they have a whole long list of these things that they say no to. And on top of that, there's there are all these results for people who have, alopecia and psoriasis and hair loss. And when I think about my clientele, majority of my clientele are women around my age. They're experiencing postpartum hair loss. You know, Here in the South, we have a lot of blondes, and so there's a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
All these different things, and I had been I really stand behind the products what we already had in our salon, which are
Yeah.
Kevin Murphy and 11. And I'm just a person that like I really drive the fact that products help me as the stylist and help me in the clientele. Not just from a money perspective, but just from like helps me do my job better if I know that my
Yeah.
client good products, right?
One of the best
And
things I ever heard from a manager once was like she took all of the products out of the salon, like including like all the back bar gone. And the stylist showed up and were like, "Well, I can't do my job." And she's like, "Well, how do you expect your clients to do their hair?" And it was like this like click
right,
moment of like, yeah, like if you're not even educating your clients, but yeah, you really can't do your job without it. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
so then okay, then I see okay, the performance level is there. It's offering something that we don't currently are able to offer. And
Mm-hmm.
then from the business side of it, this is right before the pandemic, mind you. And I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, the numbers are here. Like the way you can work your business is there. So me being somebody that has always strived to like find that business community, and I found it in Workshop in a Box, and I've found it in Mastermind. Here was another platform of women in business that you can connect with. And when I think about the four walls of our salon and how I'm able to mentor these stylists, I kind of thought, okay, Molly G, like you've experienced so much on the business side of things, and you're ready to like share that knowledge with other people. Like, what is your outlet? But when every time I thought about it, I was like, the idea of starting one more business and from the ground up makes me so tired. And because it's so much work, it's worth it to be so much work, but it's a lot. And I got two little
Mm-hmm.
children, all these things. And I was like, here's a platform that's like already basically like being hand fed to me. I just have to run with it and make it my
Yeah.
own. And so I was like, here it is. Like, this is how you expand past the four walls of your salon and the team that you have and start a community within your like surrounding area. But there's also potential nationwide, like, or
Mm-hmm.
worldwide. They're expanding to other countries. They're already in
Yeah.
Canada. They're in the United States. They're expanding other areas. Um, and I think from what I've noticed, like people have people have this drive and they have the ability but they just don't really know where to start, or they don't really know where to take it from there. So if I can mentor them on something like a product line, whether they're a hairstylist or just someone who is interested in general in the beauty industry, I think that's the hang up with hairstylists with the business model of Monat, is that they're like, well, all these people are trying to do my job. Well, no one's trying to
Right.
do your job. No one can highlight the hair like you do. No one can, provide the service that you provide. But if there's a product that you study enough and you um, aligns with you enough, you can sell it, and you're
Mm-hmm.
going to sell it well. The more confidence you have in it, and the more drive you have there, and the more you learn about it. So
Mm-hmm.
we think about we think about somebody in pharmaceutical sales. They're not trying to like be the doctor. They've
Right.
just studied up on the knowledge behind, the drugs that you
Yeah.
need leading up to. So that's kind of when I was like, okay, I'm okay with this now. Like I don't have shame anymore in what I'm
Yeah, I
doing.
think that's the thing is like some hairdressers that do it are like, I don't want anyone else in the hair industry to know that I'm doing this.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally.
So I just have like one quick question, because hearing you, like you've really invested in yourself and your business over the years. And I think or I know people get nervous about investing in themselves and their business at the best of times, but you've chosen to, I know like when you joined, the mentorship program, and then when you joined the mastermind, COVID wasn't happening. So, putting forth money to join programs maybe wasn't as scary, but then to join Monat,
Renee.
right?
Yep.
Monat. And to invest in yourself, and then also to continue on like in the mastermind program and stuff. Like, how has it been investing in yourself and your business during a pandemic?
Yeah, and honestly, I was warming up to it in March. I didn't actually purchase it until April, I think it was April 3rd. And so
Mm-hmm.
we closed our salon March 20th. So I basically was putting money down on an idea of something, with everything being very real, in
Yeah.
that moment. I didn't know how long we'd be closed. But yeah, I mean, I've just always found, the saying, you gotta spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a
As
lesson in my program, Rock Your Business. You got to
it's like
spend
that
money to make
one,
money.
that one is true. And the other one is time is money.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about that, everyone thinks about that in the term of like, well, okay, so that means I got to double book, or I got to be really fast in my, salon services.
Yeah.
But it also means you can spend hours trying to figure all these things out yourself, or you can invest in someone like a coach or a program that lays it out there for you, and it gives you the tools to start with, either to start with and run with, or just lay it all out there for you. And then it's up to you to just study it and make it your own.
Yeah, take action. And it sounds like you've been an action taker, which is awesome.
Thank you.
What would
And
you say?
being a sole owner, I don't have a partner. So it's almost like
Mm-hmm.
mastermind group is my partner. It's
Mm-hmm.
the people that I have to bounce the ideas off of.
I
So
love that. I love that. And it sounds like every investment you've made has had a good return on investment.
So far,
So far.
yes. Um, but hindsight's everything. I think, I look back and the moments where I thought, I'm ready to close, I'm ready to sell, I'm ready to give up, run away.
Mm-hmm.
All worth it in the end,
Yeah.
And
And
every time we've lost a stylist, someone else comes along to fill that space, and it's somebody that you thought, what did we do before this person came into our lives? Like it all works out. So
I love that. I think it was actually in one of our mastermind calls recently that we were like, if only we could just live in hindsight. Like if only we had the knowledge and the wisdom, wouldn't that be amazing? But having, and I call it like my Red Rovering moment. Like if we can just Red Rover, did you play that game growing up? Like Red Rover,
yes.
Red Rover. Yeah, like link arms and go and do life together and like go through the stuff together. It makes it so much easier having that and having people to bounce ideas off of. Well, Molly, if people want to connect with you over Instagram or anywhere, how can they find you? Website, Instagram?
Yes, Instagram is my main platform, and it's underscore Molly, MOLLYGEE _ and that links to my website and to our salon page. Our website is mollygandco.com. So that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, I encourage anyone listening or watching this to reach out, especially to find out, like, I know there's so many people listening that are like booth rent or suite owners that have dreams about becoming a salon owner, and not to be scared off by, like, sometimes you just have to you sometimes have to ignorantly and naively jump into something, not knowing what to do, and then figure out, okay, how do I do this? And I think you're a pure example of you've made it work. You've rolled with it. And so reach out to Molly, let her know, or if you're interested in Monat. Why can't I get it right?
It's like balayage.
Yeah, balayage. There's probably like memes within your community of like people saying it wrong. Yeah, but reach out to her and let her know. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I love hearing your story. I love watching your Instagram stories of your life in your salon. It looks amazing, and I can tell you've put a lot of hard work and thought and effort behind things.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, we have a lot of fun in our salon, and it's like you're only as great as your team, and that's really the case with us, because we really are a team that we have fun together, we work together, we're different from each other, but we all at least have the same mindset of, like, we work as a team, and our clients know that too, which I think is so great. Like, our clients know about each other. They'll know about my stylist and what's going on in my stylist's lives because we're so interactive, and that's finally the atmosphere and the team that I was working so hard to have, and I feel like I finally have that.
And you've been in business really how long? Like, how long have you had your salon?
Salon is 3.5 years.
Wow, so that's really quick.
In total, I've been in the hair industry for 5.5.
That's amazing. And that's just like pure example. Like, if anyone heard the podcast with Livia, like, she's been in the industry 2 years, has a salon. Like, there's never this, I, for the longest time, thought I had to like pay my dues and I had to be like a hairstylist for X, like at least 10 years before I could go out on my own. And it's like a made up number I gave myself. And so I love that you're just like busting that down and proving to people, like, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the industry, you can accomplish and do whatever you want. Well, thank you for being such an inspiration and for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
All right, how freaking awesome is Molly G? Like, that story, I love the natural progression. And as the progression of her business and herself grew, you see how she joined programs, she joined a mastermind, she got connected with people who were like her that were doing amazing things. And that's why I was telling you about the free class at the beginning of this episode. I want to invite you to come to my class, not only because I want to hang out with you, but too, I want to help you. And as much as I love coming in your ear pods or in your car stereo or wherever you listen to this podcast, or maybe it's on YouTube and you're watching this, I want to hang out with you in real time. It's way more fun to hang out in real time together where I can actually connect with you, talk with you, answer your questions. So go to dawnbradley.com/free class and join up. I'm going to be showing you how to get your chair full of clients who trust you, respect you, and pay you, and how to get rid of the ones that don't with kindness, compassion, and empathy, showing them you're not doing things to them or at them, but you're doing them for them. Yep, I'm teaching you how to fire clients. And no, you don't have to be scared that your business is going to crumble. I'm actually giving you strategies that work during this pandemic that are going to help increase revenue into your business, because I know right now things have changed. We can't work as much as we used to. And I think that's kind of a blessing in disguise, because I know for me, for the longest time, I want to make more money. I just work extra. I wanted that new pair of shoes. Oh yeah, I'll come in on my day off. And it was easy to just add another day. Meanwhile, I was wearing myself out. And so I know that income may be lower now because you can't overwork yourself as much. Or maybe you are overworking yourself more right now because your appointment times are slower. Whatever side of that you're on right now, this class is going to give you practical strategies to show you how you can create more revenue in your business without having to work more, so that you can take care of you. Because I want you to have a life, a business, and a bank account that you love. So dawnbradley.com/free class. There's a live class on the 26th and the 27th of July. I want you there, friend. I want to hang out with you and I want to help you. Just like how Molly has invested in herself and she's doing amazing things, come invest this time in yourself. There's no cost to this class. Come invest this time to learning and growing right now during this unreal time that we're in. Also, before I leave you, friend, I want you to know, I looked it up. Madison, Mississippi has 29,000 people that live in it. So Molly's from a small town. So maybe you have an excuse as to, why you're keeping yourself playing smaller, why you're maybe not taking some of the risks that you want to, or why you're not investing in your business. And you think, oh, well, these people, it's just different for them, or they know, maybe you listen to the podcast with Livia. And if you haven't, go back and listen to the podcast with Livia. She is 20 years old. She's been in the industry 2 years. She lives in a small town. And she's 4x'd her business. She has employees already. She has her own salon. She's not waiting for permission from anyone. And I wish that I could rewind my career and learn from these people now, because it took me way too long to realize that I don't need permission from someone else. There is no magical moment where I am granted the allowance to do things. I had to start believing in myself, trusting myself, and investing in people, mentors, and programs that helped guide me down a path. Because if you're going through the forest that no one's been through before, you can maybe get through it, but you're going to get bruised and scraped by the brushes in the way if you're trying to forge your own path. And when it gets dark, it's going to get lonely and scary. But if you're in the forest and you see a path that someone's already gone down, they've kind of cleared the way a little bit. And it's a little bit easier to go down that path. And then if you're in the forest with other people, linking arms with them, you can go down that path, not being alone, not being afraid, and get there with help and support. And that's what I'm offering you in this free class, is to come hang out with this community of like-minded people that are doing amazing things and starting to get amazing results. All right, so friend, if you haven't signed up already, go sign up for the free class, dawnbradley.com/free class. I want to see you there. And like always, if you enjoyed this episode, if you were inspired by Molly G's story, go shoot her a DM on Instagram. Let her know how her story inspired you and encouraged you. Connect with her. Plus, she's got really adorable, beautiful children that I love seeing on Instagram, and I love seeing her salon. It's so gorgeous. And if you've enjoyed this episode and you're on YouTube or iTunes or wherever you are, please like it, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's link arms and Red Rover together through this industry and change the way we work, the way we play, and the way we enjoy life. All right, see you next week, friend. Bye.